OCO, beautiful people, especially those who are free thinkers, because in today's video, I will be providing some information as to what people could do if they have been fired from their jobs for refusing to be jaminated.
Over in the U.S., New York takes a hard line on its vaccine mandate. The state began firing unvaccinated healthcare workers, even if it resulted in staff shortages at some hospitals.
United Airlines firing hundreds of employees who are refusing to comply with the carrier's vaccine mandate.
The city of San Diego warning hundreds of unvaccinated workers they will lose their jobs if they don't comply with the vaccine mandate.
Google has told its employees that they'll lose pay and be fired if they don't follow the company's vaccination policy. That's according to CNBC.
Columbia Sportswear to get its workers vaccinated. The Oregon-based company says workers at the headquarters now have until February 1st to get vaccinated, get a religious exemption, or begin the termination process.
CNN has fired 3 employees who came to work without getting a vaccine. In an email to employees, CNN President Jeff Zucker saying those employees violated the company's honor system, which had asked workers to attest that they were vaccinated, but didn't require them to produce evidence.
In California, nearly 500 Los Angeles Unified School District employees were fired this week after refusing the vaccine. The school board unanimously approved to terminate 496 employees. They were required to be fully vaccinated by November 15th. Meanwhile, 34,000 students still need to comply with the district vaccine mandate by January 10th. Students who are not fully vaccinated or are exempt will be forced into the district's independent study program or will have to leave the school system altogether.
Workers who are fired for being unvaccinated won't likely qualify for unemployment benefits. A new CBS report explains how states are rejecting these types of applications as more businesses implement vaccine mandates. And failing to get the shot can mean failing to comply with company policy.
Whistleblower told us that the Border Patrol was given official notice that if Border Patrol agents don't get the vaccine by November of this year, so 6 weeks from now, if they don't get the vaccine, they're going to be fired. So meanwhile, today we had a briefing from Secretary Mayorkas, and we asked him about what's happening with this flood of migrants coming across the border, our southern border. And he said, relative to the vaccine, he said, we asked them if they want it. It's their choice. So think about that. The people who have been busting their tails, enforcing our law, doing their job on the border, they're going to get fired if they don't take the vaccine. Meanwhile, for people who break the law and come in here, no big deal. Your choice. It's up to you. That is how ridiculous the Biden administration has become.
To watch all of my exclusive content not featured here on my channel, log on to my website at imjustheretomake.com/films. Now, as many of you may be aware, there are large corporations out there that have previously rolled out their own mandates within their company policies, firing workers left and right who do not consent to be jaminated or do not consent to be tested. Just a few days ago, the Supreme Court ruled that the Labor Department's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, along with the Biden administration's enforcement of weekly testing, mask wearing, and jamination mandates for large employers, quote, draws no distinctions based on industry or risk of exposure to, adding that it was, quote, a significant encroachment into the lives and health of the vast number of employees, end quote. So the mandate proposed to be enforced upon 84 million workers was blocked. However, the Supreme Court did rule in favor of these regulations for all federally paid healthcare workers. So they are now required to follow these mandates, forcing them all into a state where they will have to make a decision on what's more important, their health or their livelihoods. But what if all healthcare workers still say no? Yeah, of course you would fire them, but how would you replace them all? Would you be willing to work out better options for those people to return to work? Or would you settle with being doctored or nursed back to health or even operated on by robots? Now, Brandon and his administration, along with the U.S. Secretary of Labor, Marty Walsh, have expressed their disappointment with the Supreme Court's ruling, asking for all corporations to feel encouraged to try and do what they just tried to do, which is forcing these mandates within their own company policies. And the Secretary of Labor is promising that they will support those companies for doing so. And some companies have answered their call in favor of enforcing their own mandates within their company policies, like Nike, for example. Oh, and speaking of supporting these companies, I want to point out something that is truly essential for my viewers to take note of. Take a look at the names of these companies that you see on the screen. Now, I'm going to scroll up slowly because some of you may be working for these companies right now or may have been recently fired from these companies. Look at these companies, y'all. This list goes from A to Z. And I just want to be sure that you see them all. Many of these companies I am more than sure you recognize, right? Well, getting to the very top of this website, these are the corporations that fund or are business partners with the CDC. If you would like to view this list for yourself, this website can be retrieved using this link. So it's no secret that they are in bed together and are doing absolutely whatever they please, no matter if you see it or not. They do not care because they are banking on not only people's ignorance, but also people's fear of stepping outside of the box that they put you in.
Why don't we blow this system up? I mean, obviously we can't just turn off the spigot on the system we have and then say, hey, everyone in the world should get this new vaccine we haven't given to anyone yet. But there must be some way that we grow vaccines mostly in eggs, the way we did in 1947.
In order to make the transition from getting out of the tried and true egg growing, which we know gives us results that can be beneficial. I mean, we've done well with that, to something that has to be much better. You have to prove that this works, and then you've got to go through all of the clinical trials, phase 1s, phase 2s, phase 3, and then show that this particular product is going to be good over a period of years. That alone, if it works perfectly, is going to take a decade.
There might be a need or even an urgent call for an entity of excitement out there that's completely disruptive, that's not beholden to bureaucratic strings and processes.
So we really do have a problem of how the world perceives influenza, and it's going to be very difficult to change that unless you do it from within and say, I don't care what your perception is, we're going to address the problem in a disruptive way and in an iterative way, because you do need both.
But it is not too crazy to think that an outbreak of a novel avian virus could occur in China somewhere. We could get the RNA sequence from that, beam it to a number of regional centers, if not local, if not even in your home at some point, and print those vaccines on a patch and self-administer.
It's no secret that they are in bed together and are doing absolutely whatever they please, no matter if you see it or not. They do not care, because they are banking on not only people's ignorance, but also people's fear of stepping outside of the box that they put you in. I want to inform you about something that could possibly help those of you who have been fired without benefits and cannot receive any form of unemployment benefits or any other form of compensation for that matter. Before I do so, I want to make this perfectly clear that I am no lawyer or an attorney, and I am not providing you with any form of legal advice. What I am about to state next is strictly for educational purposes only, and I am not liable for anything that you choose to do with this information. So, with that in mind, I would like for you to take note of this. According to Cornell Law School, this act is for, quote, every person who, under color of any statute, ordinance, regulation, custom, or usage of any state or territory or the District of Columbia, subjects or causes to be subjected any citizen of the United States or other person within the jurisdiction thereof to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution and laws, shall be liable to the party injured in an action at law, suit in equity, or other proper proceeding for redress, except that in any action brought against a judicial officer for an act or omission taken in such officer's judicial capacity, injunctive relief shall not be granted unless a declaratory decree was violated or declaratory relief was unavailable. For the purposes of this section, any act of Congress applicable exclusively to the District of Columbia shall be considered to be a statute of the District of Columbia. End quote. This statute is known as 42 U.S.C. Section 1983, which was previously known as part of the original Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871. It was used by those whose civil rights were violated, for example, in police misconduct. According to Shouse California Law Group, quote, a Section 1983 lawsuit is a legal claim alleging that a state or local official has violated your civil rights under the U.S. Constitution. These actions may be brought in state or federal court. Victims can pursue monetary damages or an injunction to stop the improper conduct. Victims of civil rights violations can sue people who acted under the color of law. This includes people who work for the government, including state government, local government, and government for the District of Columbia, other individuals who conspire with those government workers, and certain government entities. A Section 1983 litigation claim can be filed against state and local officials, such as police officers, sheriff's deputies, state or county prison guards, police chiefs, county sheriffs, prison wardens, and other public officials. Private individuals can also be sued if they conspire with state officials. This would make them act under the color of law. When the constitutional violation was a custom or policy of the municipality can be sued too. Municipalities include towns, villages, cities, counties, and any municipal program or department, like a school board or public transit service. The court can award monetary damages for compensation, as well as punitive damages. The compensation aims to cover the victim's medical bills, lost wages, reduced earning capacity, pain and suffering, loss of liberty from civil rights violation, and possibly attorney fees. End quote. So I just provided some helpful information. However, I do recommend that you speak with a professional in this area of expertise, like a lawyer or an attorney, in order to learn more about what you can do if you have been fired from your job due to not consenting with your employer's newly established health policies. I'm just doing my part by making you aware of this type of information, so you don't have to believe anything that I say. In fact, I don't want you to, because you are your own human being that's capable of making your own decisions anyway, right? And for that reason alone, this is exactly why I'm just here to make you think.